Hey, LS County, Kevin Crouch here, and I am bringing you a segment of Tuesday Tips that I've been wanting to do for quite some time. And yes, I'm going to go ahead and get it out of the way. Yes, Jensen is back with me today. He is a little bit fussy, so the best way to calm him down is just to let him hang with me, right? Are you cool with that? You good? Yeah. Yeah, you're good. You're not even. Do you even know where you are right now? Yeah, okay. All right, he's good. Okay. So this is a friend of mine, Jonathan Polanco, who we've known each other since high school band. And can we both agree that we are so happy to not be on the asphalt in this summer? Like,
Oh, 100%.
it was so, I mean, it was bad then, but not nearly what it is now. My gosh.
I want to say we had one summer where it was like close to about 110 for a couple of days of band camp, but not this consecutive.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And a part of that, of course, if you have been in Texas for the last couple of years, of course, when I say the word ERCOT, most people want to punch something, myself included. I mean, I think we all have a bad taste in our mouth, right? And like I was just telling you, I try to explain, where their actions may not be as bad as we think and all these kind of things, but they've even made missteps this summer. So a part of what we're going through is dealing with rolling blackouts and things. And I don't know if you noticed the sweet setup behind Jonathan Polanco, but he is a online streamer, a gaming streamer primarily, and or that may be all you do, but he knows a lot more than I do as far as that kind of setup and how to keep those things safe and how to protect your devices, because those rolling blackouts, it's going on and off and on and off, and that's not good for any electronics, much less computers and that kind of thing. And when I originally thought of this idea, I thought of it during the spring, lightning strikes and things causing power surges and that kind of stuff. But now even in the summer and winter, we have to worry about what our electricity is doing. So if you want to kind of introduce yourself and kind of tell us not only how you got into streaming, but what you have learned since then in terms of maintaining that stability for your computer and all your tech.
Sure. Like Kevin said, I'm Jonathan. My streaming page is Polanco Gaming over on Facebook Gaming. So one thing that I've learned as far as like power and all that kind of stuff is there's a big difference between having a surge protector and having a like just a power strip. So what most people use, in their houses are going to be power strips. It's just, your normal little strip has plugs on it. But that's all it does. It just distributes power. A surge protector it's not going to send that surge of electricity to your devices whenever power kicks off or on, which is what it'll affect pretty much anything you have. So if you have a computer, you want to have a surge protector, because if your computer surges too many times, either if you have a graphics card or just your regular motherboard, it'll end up frying eventually. It'll get to where it just won't work, or it won't work the same. I've had a couple computers die because of that issue. But I've learned with everything you see behind me with all the lighting and all that, this room takes up a lot of power. And the main thing I've kind of worked with is kind of distributing the power, because if you put all your power into one, like into one outlet, you'll notice that you run the risk of your breakers tripping. So you want to kind of distribute it around the room. Every room has more than one circuit on it. And so that's just one thing. Those are just two things that I've learned as far as like my lighting, and just using power in general, especially using as much as I have to use.
So do you have any kind of like battery backups or anything like that that you use in Ensemble, obviously with the surge protectors and that kind of thing?
I don't have an external battery backup. My surge protector has a small battery in it.
Okay.
So when a couple of days ago, when we had that storm that came in, and my power surged, everything in my room stayed on while it like cut right back on. So it has a small battery. It doesn't have a whole lot. It'll maybe hold everything up for maybe about 5 minutes or so.
Cool. Well, that's one of the things that people keep telling me to invest in. Obviously, I'm on the air when storms are happening, so the likelihood of my power going out when I'm working is much higher.
Yeah.
Haven't had the kind of the right setup on that yet, but that's coming. And so you had a storm come in, and so how many opportunities have you had with this setup to kind of experience power surges and kind of see how things act? And have you, is there anything you've learned through that process that's kind of changed your methodology or anything like that?
Oh yeah. At first, like anyone else, I was just like, I'll just plug everything into my surge protector, just plug it into one outlet, and then I powered everything up, and the circuit blew, or it didn't blow, but it tripped.
Okay.
And that's one thing. That's like the main thing that I've learned is kind of distribute your power, because you don't want to trip the breaker every single time you try to load everything up.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. No. And I mean, of course, you have a much bigger setup than most homes do, most residences, but when it comes to businesses, that can be a different story. You got a whole office building full of computers and equipment and that kind of thing. So tell us, what kind of recommendations might you have for someone in their home if they're running just basic stuff, or if they have a gaming setup, and they've got that one TV in the house that could power a town because it's just got so many things plugged into it. And also, is there anything you've learned about breakers themselves, as far as like having one spot in the house? You might have mentioned this already, but having one spot in the house that's so much overpowered than any other spot, does that make any kind of difference as well in how you try to protect things?
It'll make a little bit of a difference. Like if like this happened a couple of years ago. Lightning struck my in-laws house, and it completely fried their dish, their like their satellite dish, the internet, their satellite box. It just completely fried it because lightning hit directly on one of the dishes.
Yeah.
Having kind of like what I have been kind of promoting is like getting a surge protector or a battery backup. The surge protector is definitely going to help in any instances when power goes out and then comes back on. When you have like one spot, like most people in their living room, it's like where they have their TV, their like their DVD or Blu-ray players, their sound systems, all that kind of stuff. It's good to have it all protected through something like a surge protector, because when you are bringing all of your power into one source, when power goes off and on, it is going to surge to a lot of different devices all at once. I'm not very versed in the actual like circuits and circuit breakers. I just know that like I've learned enough to where I know every room for the most part has more than one breaker working for it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can tell you right now that the one breaker that's powering the computer we're using right now is probably like, why am I the one in the house? Why do I get all of the work in the house? So yeah, and I'm hoping that this summer relents at some point. I mean, my gosh, it's been probably the worst we've seen since 1980 or 2011. I'm sure when we get on the backside of this, we'll have a much better understanding of kind of where it lies. But how long have you been streaming? I know it's kind of been off and on a little bit.
I've been streaming for about a little over 2 years, almost 2.5 years. Started April of 2020, like right after the pandemic hit. And it was just something that I kind of got into because I like playing video games, like I would say most guys, especially our age, grew up kind of playing. But I also was like, I can't see my friends. I can't go anywhere. Like I needed that social interaction. And streaming's given that to me.
Cool, man. Well, I am going to go see what I can do to make this kiddo happy. And tell us about your family. So you're married.
Mm-hmm.
Any kids yet? Just remind me. Do you?
No kids.
No kids yet. Okay.
Me and my wife Danielle.
Got it. Yeah, and she's she's always been a big supporter of your streaming too, which is great. To see that I also have the benefit of a very supportive family, so that makes a big difference in terms of content creators.
Oh yeah,
that's something that Jonathan and I have been able to kind of bond over and communicate about is streaming on different platforms and what that can do and the difficulties and the stresses and everything that come with it, with Facebook being Facebook and other platforms being what they are, the pros and cons and that kind of thing. So well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, but if you will just tell us a little bit about how we can find you, what channels are you using, what's the best place to support you, and all that good stuff, because I want to make sure that Ellis County weather folks can tune into a local gaming streamer as well.
Sure. So you can find me on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all Polanco Gaming. The easiest way to support is just show up on the Facebook streams, even if you don't talk a whole lot. And this goes for the Ellis County weather. This goes for anything that you ever see live on Facebook. If you want to help any of those content creators when they go live, if you stay in there for at least a minute, that's one of the most important metrics. So if you're like, oh, okay, he's live, let me just sit in there for a minute and then go about your day. That's the easiest way to help support any of the content creators that are out there.
Yeah, that's one of the things that one of the benefits that I really get, because when I start a severe weather stream, of course, I have that screen where it's I think it says broadcast beginning soon or something like that, has all the sponsors up there, and that of course gives me a chance to share it on other pages and kind of make sure everything's rolling and all that good stuff, make sure all the graphics are right. So, and that lasts longer than a minute. So one of those kind of unintended blessings there, as far as how just the mechanics of it. But Jonathan, thank you so much for talking to me. I know that there was a little bit of background noise there, but I appreciate you hanging with me, and everybody go watch his streams. He's really fun. I tune in when I can, regrettably not as often as I'd like. I think once I don't have as many kiddos running around, I'll have a better chance to do that. But thank you so much for tuning in, and make sure you're watching tomorrow, because that storm that we were just talking about that came in and I think took a lot of us by surprise, I'm going to be talking a little bit about what or really why we saw so much damage in parts of Ellis County, and there were rumors of tornadoes and things, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about what went into that. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.